All right, guys, I have started the recording, and so we'll just go ahead and dive right in. All right, so basically, as you guys know, I don't know if you guys are in the Black Friday flight deals group. Okay, so as you guys know, I'm Craig the Travel Junkie, and we have like our main Facebook page and group, which is the Travel Junkies. And the Travel Junkies is just basically something that I started with my best friend Terry, and it's kind of grown. Whereas like we started traveling back in the day, people want to start traveling more with us, so we just start putting trips together. And you know how it is. You go on a couple of trips, you see, post pictures, and everybody's like, "Ooh, let me know next time you go. I want to go." And then it just grassroots, and it just grew and grew and grew. And now it's this whole big Facebook group and page that we turn into a company and all of that. And we do group trips just all over the globe, if you guys haven't noticed. We also do curated trips for people too as well. So like, let's say Stephanie, if you call and say, "Oh, we do want to do our family reunion in Kenya next year, and there's 50 of us." Well, we're a full-fledged agency where we'll curate, put that whole trip together for you, package it out, all of that good stuff like that. And if you want one of our representatives to go on the trip with you, we will. If not, our suppliers on the ground will take care of all that stuff. So we're full-fledged. We do all of that. Now, in doing that throughout the years, one of the things that we've done was we did a spinoff because we used to always like look up flight deals for people. So we created a secondary group called the Black Friday Flight Deals. And the reason why it's called the Black Friday Flight Deals is because by happenstance, let's say 6 or 7 years ago, we were goofing off in the group. And you know how and you guys are familiar with Black Friday. So you know how stores would open up, I guess, late on Friday, and you had like people lined up around the block waiting to get into like Walmart, Best Buy, Brandsmart, all those type of stores just to get electronics and stuff like that, right? Well, airlines, other entities took notice of that. Airlines and hotels, they took notice of that. And so what they did is they started having Black Friday deals as well too, because they figured if people are going to stand online and wait for a TV, I'll make it easy for you. You can just go online Black Friday, and I'll have a flight deal super cheap for you. So over the years, we've done flight deals for people like dirt cheap. So every Black Friday, we host a call. We open the call up Black Friday at like 9:30 p.m. Eastern time, and it runs all the way through like 3:30 in the morning. And we tell people, come with your credit card or however you want to pay, and we just find people flight deals all over the globe. And when I tell you these deals are smoking hot, for example, and I was talking to Gay earlier, like from Dallas, Fort Worth to Auckland, New Zealand, $400. From JFK to parts of Africa, $250. From Miami to Brazil, $175. And we're talking round trip main cabin. And this is no fluke. I know this because I've done a lot of those flights myself. I just got back from Tokyo the other day, and I did that round trip, 42,000 SkyMiles. That's it. The equation in dollars was something like 700. So those deals are out there. And then, there are all types of like sites that are dedicated to just like helping you guys find those deals and stuff like that. So I'm like a third party aggregator. So I created the Black Friday Flight Deals group. And then I just pull from a lot of those other sites and all of that. And I just condense all of that stuff together. And then we post daily. And I don't know if, like I said, if you guys are in the group, and I'll drop the link for the group in here so you guys can have access to that, as well as the Facebook group. And I keep them separate. So the Facebook group is just that. It's our Facebook, our regular stuff, or like, let's say if Daryl, you went on a trip with your family and you want to post trips, post pictures in the group for inspiration for people and tell them, hey, like, oh, well, I'm in Paris, guys. I'm on a train. When you want to go see the Eiffel Tower, you just catch the J train, then you get on the green line, blah, blah, blah. In terms of your content creation, you want to do that, drop all of that in the Travel Junkies group. We appreciate that. Yeah, I got you, PJ, and we appreciate that, because that just helps us grow as well too. And then it also helps other like-minded travelers such as yourself in the group to get inspiration to go places. And then we created a Black Friday Flight Deals, where that one is just strictly flight deals. That's it. All we do is post flight deals. We have conversation in there about the deals, hooking people up. That's it. And these deals are amazing. So right now, Delta dropped a sale the other day as low as 27,000 SkyMiles from a lot of major U.S. cities to a lot of major major European countries and cities. And the translation in dollars is like as low as $450 round trip $500, right? And so whenever they post, I post a lot of deals in the group. And my admin, she posts a lot of deals in it too. But whenever they have deals that are this great, I try and put it in the main group too, because that's just too sweet of a deal for you guys to miss out, right? So, and I'll tell you like one that I'm doing, because I'm about to book this one. So I was supposed to go to Morocco a couple of years ago, right? And I didn't make it due to COVID. I missed the flight, how the whole you're supposed to take a rapid test versus a PCR test, blah, 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 right? So I ended up not going, went to Costa Rica. So I've always wanted to go to Morocco. Now we have a group trip next year going to Morocco in November, right? So plug. If you guys haven't been to Morocco, we got the Funky Cold Medina tour going on November next year, 2024. Like I said, it's all on our website. It's in the group and all of that. But I told my wife, I was like, well, I want to go to Morocco, and we really don't have nothing to do in January, right? So got up this morning, looked on Delta, found a deal from where, like, DFW, because that's where I just happen to be right now, DFW. But I got a place like everywhere. I got an apartment in Chicago, apartment in Minnesota, a house in Atlanta, house in DFW, just interest kind of everywhere. So I looked at, like, what would a flight be coming out of DFW? So I'm going to share my screen for you guys, okay? Let me see. And I'm going to share my entire screen. I made sure I took down all of the debauchery first before you guys can see anything. Now, let me know when you guys can see my screen. Mm-hmm. Can you guys see my screen? Can you guys see it? You might have to. I can't see. So I don't know.
Yeah, we got it.
Yeah. Cool. All right. So I just jumped online, right? And I said, you know what? Let me find a cheap route to Morocco, right? So what I did is I came in here and I just pulled up the Delta site, DFW. You go here, you put in your search. I put in DFW, and then I put in Lisbon, Portugal, right? And I'm sorry, let me back up. Before I do that, where I found this was from this one site called Thrifty Travel. So Thrifty Travel is like one of those third-party sites that does like a lot of flight deals that I told you that I pull from and I dump in the group. Thrifty Travel, Secret Flying, Scott's Travel Deals, all of that. And so Thrifty Travel is the one where I found this one from. And then they put up I subscribe to them, so I get like all of their mailers all the time, So you have to like subscribe to them, be in the group and all that. So they sent out this thing today about the Delta sale, right? So once they send that out, all you got to do is just come to the airline's website, because they send out deals for like all airlines, Qatar, United, Etihad, just everybody, right? And Secret Flying does that too. Back in the day, it used to be this site called Momondo. They're still in business, but now these other sites have kind of stepped up and kind of taken over, right? So then you just come to the carrier website like I did. So I just came to Delta, and then came to Delta, and then I put in where I want to fly out of, DFW, and then where I want to go, Lisbon, Portugal, because there was a bunch of European countries in there like France, Netherlands, Portugal, Spain, Germany, because they're all kind of clustered right there together, right? So then I came here and I put in a round trip and I put in a time frame. So I want to go from, let's say, Friday, January 12th and come back on the 20th. That's just how long I want to stay. Now, you can stay as long as you want or as short as you want. I just haven't put that in there, right? Then you come over here where it says shop for miles. And you check that button right there, shop for miles, right? And then you just click the search engine and then you just let it search. And then, you give it a minute. And then what'll happen is it'll pull up this calendar, right? And you guys can still see my screen, correct? Mm-hmm. Yep. And then it just takes a second. All right. And then it just pulls up this grid calendar. And if you notice, remember the dates I put in there? Friday, January 12th. If you look over to the left, Saturday, January 20th. And this is what it costs. 36,000 SkyMiles. That's it. And then, of course, you got to pay the taxes, $67. And here it shows it again right here, right? And let's just say you want to take a look and see like other dates. Like if you just, aren't really decided on January 12th through the 20th and you say, okay, well, I want to look at some more dates. Then you click over here where it says price calendar. And then it pops up this calendar, and it shows you starting to see like December, January, February, and it shows you starting December 1st right here all the way through the rest of the month. And it shows you what the price is for this trip. And then you click this arrow right here to go to the next set of months. Because remember, that was December, January, and February. And, you know, again, it just takes a second to load, just depending on how fast your internet is. And then here you go, February and March, and see how like it's still 36,000. But see how like certain dates out here, the price goes up, the valuation and points go up a little more. Like right here, it's 45,000 points. Here it's 56,000 points. Now that translates to dollars as well too. And see how down here is 70,000, and then that's 112. So the price goes as the point valuation goes. So like this point valuation for 36,000, it may just be $500. That 45, it may be 650. That 56, it may be 700. That 70, maybe 800, 900, and so on and so on. You guys get the point, right? And so that's how you look for like what you want to spend in terms of miles, right? Now, how you get miles and accumulate miles, that's a whole nother topic on a whole nother day. Right now, I just kind of wanted to show you guys how you can come in here and book for like, you know, real cheap and get flights and get somewhere where you want to go at an even cheaper price, right? So let's just say you want to stick with that January 12th through the 20th, right? So you come over here and then you settle on it and say, okay, this is what I want to do. And now Delta is just loading it up for you in terms of your route. All right, then it pops up here. Now, if you notice here, you know, just like whenever you search it, it shows you like the class of cabin for, you know, for the points, 36,000 for basic, main is 52, comfort 62, so on and so on. Here's a little trick. Let's just say if you have status with Delta and you book a basic ticket, they're gonna, depending on your status, like let's say if you're platinum and diamond, they're gonna immediately upgrade you to main cabin, and you just go in there and pick your seat. And you know, just like I know, depending on the type of jet that you're flying, if it's a 777, which Delta flies a lot of Airbus products, so it's going to be the Airbus 320, the Airbus 330, the Airbus 350, all those things like that. You know, you can kind of go to SeatGeek or Seat Guru and look at like what the seat will look like, or you can go to YouTube. That's what I like to do. Like I'll look at what type of aircraft I'm on, then I'll go to YouTube and I'll type it in Delta A380, and then I'm not A380, A330, and then it'll pop up a video of somebody sitting in that seat, so you know exactly what you're getting, exactly what it looks like, what you're getting, so that way you know whether or not you want to book it or not, right? So here's the deal. See how, let's say we pick this first one and see how, and I'm going to just do main cabin for the hell of it, you know. And so let's say we pick this first one, and then it pops up, and then it comes up with the return, right? So now you got to choose return. And then, you know, it looked like all of the times are generally the same, coming out at 11:15 or 10 a.m. or whatever. So basically, whichever one you pick really doesn't matter. And then obviously you can look over here to determine where you want to route through. Like if you want to go to Boston, if you want to go to JFK, whatever the case may be. Now, once Delta bills it, okay, so this is your route right here. And this is the point valuation, 52,000 miles, and all you're spending is $66, right? And you're going to Lisbon. Now, let's just say, remember I told you my final destination really is Morocco. That's where I want to go, right? So what I do is I come over here, and then it's simple. I just pull up a map of Europe, right? And then I look at the map. Here's Morocco. And that's why I chose Lisbon, because Lisbon is right above Morocco. So a short flight from Lisbon to Morocco is only an hour and 30 minutes, like an hour and 55 minutes, right? Then you come over here to your trusty dusty Skyscanner. I don't know if you guys ever heard of it, but Skyscanner is a site that I use quite often when I'm looking for low fares anywhere in the globe. So if I'm trying to go from Florida to Texas, or if I'm trying to go to Lisbon to Germany or whatever the case, I always use Skyscanner. And they always pull up like the best and the most affordable fares. And so then what I did is I just came in here. Remember, I'm landing in Portugal on the 20th. Saturday, right? So I just put a round trip in here from Saturday, January 20th to Thursday, the 25th. And look at these prices, $142. and then look at the flight times, 12:30, and I land at 3:30. Now remember, with the Delta flight, I land at 9 in the morning. So by the time I land at 9 in the morning, you want to give yourself some cushion just in case the flight is delayed a little bit. You land at 9 something in the morning, you go through customs, and then you go collect your bag. If you're not team carry-on and you check the bag, then you go collect your bag. And then you go check in for your flight over here, Royal Air Morocco, that's who that is. And then you jump on that flight at 12 o'clock, an hour and 55 minutes, 2-hour flight, direct to Casablanca, and you land in Morocco, and boom. That's how you've been able to make it all the way over to Morocco for a low and for a cheap price, because you took advantage of the huge sale from Delta going from any U.S. major city over to a lot of the European cities, right? So let me come back over here and then show you what the valuation is in dollars. So I'll just start it over, and I'll do that same thing, and I'll take out Shop with Miles, same route, DFW to Lisbon, round trip, January 12th, January 20th, which is a Friday, all the way through that next Saturday. And, a lot of times I always book and leave out like on a Wednesday or Friday, because, whenever you go to Europe, you lose a day. So if you leave out on Friday, you're not going to land over there till the next day. Now, see these prices right here? $520. $520 will get you round trip from the States over to Europe. And then from there, you can book wherever you want to go. Pull out Skyscanner, pull out the map, and determine where else you want to go. And then you book that cheap flight and you go over there. Now, it just so happens if you got the right credit card and you got points that you can use and move over to certain airlines, you can do that and not even spend any money. And that's how you got like pretty much a free trip going over to wherever you want to go, whether it be Europe, in this case, North Africa, because Morocco is North Africa. So that's where we'll be going. We'll be hitting Europe and North Africa, because, what the wife wants to do is she wants to spend a few days in Morocco, 4 days. And then we're going to fly from Morocco back to Portugal, because she's never been to Portugal. And then we're going to spend about 3.5, maybe 4 days over there too. And then, I got like a ton of hotel points. So we're just going to book a hotel on points for both locations. That way we're not spending any money. So in a sense, we've taken a trip all the way over to Europe and North Africa for just this amount of money right here, $142 round trip. That's all we're spending, because everything else is points and SkyMiles. I'm going to pause right there. Anybody got any questions? I'm going to stop sharing too.
The question. So if you don't necessarily have a desired location that you want to go to, can you reverse search it? So like, is there any way to see, like, I don't necessarily have a preference, but want to see what Delta SkyMiles is offering? Just
right.
Yeah. You get what I'm saying?
Yep. In terms of where you want to go, right?
Yes. I don't have a preference, but just curious to see, do they have a list that says like these places are 34,000 miles from here, there, or whatever?
Yep. So it's another site that does that. It's let me go see if I can pull it up really quick. And again, it's another site that you have to subscribe to. Everything you got to subscribe to. You know what I mean? Let me see if I can find that one. Where are my bookmarks? Oh, there we go. So that one is Flight Connections. So Flight Connections. And it's another one called Rome. And I know I stopped sharing, but I'm pulling them up, and then I'm gonna share again and pull them back up on camera so you guys can see them. Okay. All right. Let me go back and share again. And again, just let me know when you guys can see my screen when I share. All right, can you guys see my screen?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, all right. So this is Flight Connections, right? And again, this is another website that, you have to have a subscription to and all of that. So like, let's say, and that was Daphne that asked that question, right, Daphne? So let's say, I'm sorry?
Yes, that was me.
Okay, yeah. So like, where would you be coming out of, Daphne?
Atlanta.
All right, so let's just say you're coming out of Atlanta, right? I don't know why I kind of knew that. I was typing ATL, but I don't want to be presumptuous.
Understandable.
Yep. So see, when you come here now, you type ATL and look at this. See how it's showing you all of these routes where you can go?
Yes.
Yep. And then if you have the subscription, the pay, when you hover over the route,
Mm-hmm.
it'll show you the price.
Got it.
So like Atlanta, and let's say here, you want to go to Joburg, right? You click on
Mm-hmm.
it. And then it comes over here. Now you can see my screen where it's telling you to check the price. Well,
Mhm.
pop-ups and stuff will come up, but you got to create an account, Come over here, you
Mm-hmm.
click check the price, and then it pulls up the calendar. And then and it's probably doing this because I'm not in the paid version yet. Or it could be just because my
Sorry,
computer is slow.
does it just have the price, or you're saying it does include SkyMiles?
Does it have what?
Is it just price, or does it include SkyMiles too? Just the price?
No, no. This just includes price for this one. Now, the one that you're talking about that can show like SkyMiles, like if you want to use, it's another site. It's called Roam, ROAME, and I'm clicking over into Roam now.
Okay.
And again, it must be mine.
Okay.
All right. So now, when you come to Roam, can you guys still see my screen?
Yes.
Yep. So Roam is a little different. You come here, and like let's say you put in a destination, MSP, which is Minnesota, CDG, Paris, and then of course you put in a departing date, and then it'll spit out like a bunch of and let me just put a realistic date in here. Yeah, I'm sorry, my thing is just running mad slow today. Maybe because I got like a ton of programs open, so that could be it as well too. So let me try and close some of these programs, and maybe that'll help it run a little faster. All right, let me try it now. But this is the one, Daphne, if you come to this website, Roam, ROAME,
Uh-huh.
you can put in where you're originating, where you want to go, and then just pop in a date. And then like you kind of halfway saw when I first popped it up.
Mm-hmm.
And then down here, it'll show you like all of the flights going where. And then in this section right here, it'll show you what's needed in terms of like, oh, if I want to go from Minnesota to Paris in August, I'll need 55,000 Sky Miles. Or if I got Marriott points, I can transfer them over and use 30,000 Marriott points, all the stuff like that. So that would be this site, Roam.
All right, sounds good. That seems like a good resource.
Yes, it's a great tool. Like I said, I had the paid version. I got to re-sign up for it because I just hadn't used it in a while. Because I use, like I said, a couple of other ones, but this is the one that'll help you out. And like I said, it'll just show you just in terms of points, what you want to have for where you want to go.
Thanks.
Yep. Did anybody have any other questions, or you want me to show you something outside of what I'm showing you guys on the screen?
So initially for your trip per se,
Mm-hmm.
you did you use Skyscanner or was it the other aggregator that?
Yeah. So I came here first, right here. So
Okay.
and that was Daryl, right?
Yes.
Okay, yeah. Sorry about that. Yeah. So this is where so remember I told you I signed up for Thrifty. So this is
Okay.
what Thrifty sent me, and this is
Gotcha.
exactly what it looks like. And it pops up, shows you Delta Sky Miles Europe, and then it tells you right now from 27,000 points, you can go to any of these locations right here on the right. And then look at the time frame. You can fly anywhere between November and May. And then when you come down here, this is where it shows you all of the U.S. cities that you can depart from. And if you take a look at this list, look how expansive this list is. So pretty much if you live in a major city in America or close to one, you can probably come out of that city pretty cheap. Like Daryl, where are you coming out of? If you don't mind me asking.
Atlanta.
Okay, so if you're coming out of Atlanta, there it is right there. Atlanta, 32,000 Sky Miles. And you figure for Delta, anytime Delta has a sale, you already know it's gonna pretty much be Atlanta first. Then it's gonna be the other hubs, such as like LAX or MSP or DTW, you know, stuff like that.
Gotcha.
MSP being Minnesota, DTW being Detroit.
Gotcha.
Yep. But yeah, so you come here, man, and like I said, it has an expansive list. And so what I've done is you guys don't even have to sign up for this. And the reason why you don't have to sign up for this is because I'm signed up. And because I'm signed up, I have it set where every time I get drops, you know, we post them over in the flight deals and the Black Friday flight deals group. And if you aren't familiar with that, let me pull that up now. So this is the Black Friday flight deals group with the travel junkies. And this is, like I said, this is where we post nothing but just flight deals all day long. Occasionally, you know, you get the spams in here like this, and you know, you just come in and just remove them out. That's all.
Craig, can you do me a favor? Can
What's
you go to invite and just invite PJ? I gave her a QR code. It's in our messenger. If you just go right there, real time, and invite her, she should get straight to the group.
Oh, you mean to the Facebook group?
The flight, yeah, the invite on the right hand side,
Okay.
and just type her name in. If you Facebook friends, are you Facebook friends with her?
I don't know if I am or not, but we're about to find out.
But if you're not, PJ, go to your messenger. I give you a QR code. When you click that link,
Craig, you can invite me.
I
We're
got it.
Facebook friends. Please invite me.
Yeah, who is that?
Yay.
Yeah, gotcha. Yep, I just invited PJ, so tell PJ she should be good.
Yeah, okay.
Yep.
Awesome.
Daryl, are you in the group?
You're muted.
I just joined that group,
Okay.
the Black Friday flight deals. I just
Got
joined.
it.
That's what
Okay.
I was doing on my phone.
Cool. And somebody else said something. Who was that? Or yep. But again, that's this one. And then so when you join the group, we have our pinned post here because, like I said, what I talked to you guys about, we open up our call. The call officially starts at 10, but you know, we just open it up at 9:30 just for everybody to kind of get on and goof off and joke around and all that. And then at 10 o'clock, that's when all of the deals really start dropping. And then that's when we just kind of get to it. You know, we just start finding deals everywhere, you know, and we just sit up throughout the night and just help people from all over the globe get deals, you know, for the best dollar, you know, that you guys may, you know, and it works. Because like I said, myself and my partner, CJ, he lives in Alaska. We jump on and we host a call. And we've done so much in terms of sending travelers all over the globe, like for years at dirt cheap prices.
Hey,
you know,
Craig.
This
is Gay. I have a question.
Yeah.
For the Black Friday deals or whatever, I'm sure there's blackout dates. And do you know, like, for travel dates, is it typically like for the whole rest of the year, or is it you have to travel like within the first quarter?
Yeah. So that's a good question. So it's different. So for example, remember when I was looking at this price calendar for Delta? I'll show you. So like, and I'll show you. I'm still going to use that same route, DFW, Lisbon, January 12th to the 20th. And I'm going to do shop with miles, right? And then I'm going to press the search and watch it build something, right? Or better yet, I'm sorry. Well, we can still use this. I'll just do the calendar. Because it's not necessarily a blackout, so to speak, but it's the whole, for those holidays and things like that, everybody's going to jack the prices up around the holidays. So you could still fly on those days, And it's just that instead of the deal being 36,000 Sky Miles around the holiday, they may jack the price up. As a matter of fact, let me show you right here on the price calendar. So remember the price calendar popped up and it was the tail end of December and then it was January, but I'm going back. So now it should pop up November and December. Okay, right here. So see,
Yeah.
in December. So you can still fly around that time, but see how the valuation just went way up. Like in November, the valuation is still low. It's 36,000 Sky Miles. Get into December, first week in December is low, then it starts to creep up. But then if you come down here and look at this Christmas week, it's like 44,000,
Yeah.
Yep. And then so the same thing with the dollars. As the point valuation goes up, so does the dollars. So again, it's no blackout, meaning you can't fly. You can still fly. It's just the price goes up.
Can you go though, like go to like October and see if it's still like that low all the way to October 2024.
Oh, 2024. Okay. Yeah.
Yeah.
As soon as it's done. And I don't think it goes out that far, but we'll check it right now. So.
Yeah, that's kind of what I meant. Like, how far in advance can you plan? Like, if you want to go like end of year or middle of the year, is it still
okay? Yeah. So, and I'm sorry, I probably misinterpreted your question, but yeah, you have to go by what the deal says. So, like for example, this deal, it only runs through November to May next year.
okay?
And not meaning you're going to be able to book at 27,000 through like this. This is a sale, so this sale is going to end, let's say, in a few days, or if all of these flights sell out and fill up. But the travel window, you have all the way through May to be able to travel on this deal.
Gotcha.
Yep. But that was a good question. Sorry, I misinterpreted it early, but
No, that's no problem. Because I'm not usually in this Black Friday stuff because it's dramatic for me, and I know I'll travel when I want to. So, but it's a good idea to be looking at these kind of deals, and I just wanted to know how, because one of the reasons why I never really did it before is because I don't know my schedule. I can't say where I'm going to be
right
this day or this time. But
I get it.
maybe if I can plan ahead and say, okay, what part of the year I think I have some free time, and then just make a decision. But if I have to, look at it in 3 months, or do I have 6 months that I can play with? So that's kind of where I was coming from.
Yeah, no, that makes total sense. Yeah, that was actually a good question. And like I said, I'm glad you asked it. Glad I was able to answer it for you. So, yeah. So before I stop sharing, does anyone have any other questions? Before you guys ask, I really encourage you guys. It's simple. Just do this. Whenever you want to go somewhere, Google wherever you want to go. Map of Europe. And that will help you in terms of planning, in terms of where you think you want to go when you want to hit multiple countries. One of the things I always tell people, one of the best or easiest routes for someone that's new to Europe is what I call the triple threat, which is London, Paris, Amsterdam. And it's simple. You fly into London from the States, cheap flight, and then you catch a train from London down to Paris, stay in Paris for you, and you catch a train from Paris over to Amsterdam, and then you fly home. That's the triangle. Whereas Delta now has introduced their own new triangle now that they've opened up flights to Cape Town. Because remember, Delta from Atlanta, it used to be only direct Atlanta to Joburg. Right. Well, now they have Cape Town to Atlanta direct. And so it's the triangle. Atlanta, direct to Joburg. When you're in Joburg, you get your intercountry flight back and forth to Cape Town, then you fly from Cape Town back to Atlanta. That's the triangle. And that's how we do a lot of our trips too, based on that triangle routing. And just simple, just kind of looking at the map and seeing what's where, and then just choosing destinations based on what's close to each other, because it makes sense. Like I said, so like, for example, let's say if I was putting together a travel junkie trip, it may be like Spain and Portugal, because you see they border each other. So it just makes sense. Flying to Portugal, hang out, kicking in Portugal or Lisbon, do all Porto, Sintra, all of that stuff. And then after a few days later, fly over to somewhere in Spain, whether it be Barcelona, Madrid, Seville, or Pamplona, I'm sorry, Ibiza, go down to Pamplona, and then you hang out there and then you come back home. And that's a good way for you to get in a couple of countries or get in multiple countries, especially if you have a lot of time. And then if you're a person that is working remote and you have no destination, you can be anywhere, this is a great opportunity for you to go certain places, whether it be Europe, North Africa, South Africa, and see multiple destinations, while you're still working and for cheap. Now, I know I asked, did you guys have any questions? I interrupted, so I'll stop right there. Do you guys have any questions? Okay, I'll stop the share. And then we'll just talk.
What's your best travel card for accumulating miles right now or benefits?
That is a great question. And Gay, it's a good question, but I don't want to say it's a best. So my guy, Ronnie Dunstan, he's the CEO and founder of Road 100 Countries. He has this great series called The Tricks of Travel, where he teaches people to maximize their credit cards, to be able to maximize getting points and miles and all of that stuff like that. And his name is Ronnie Dunstan. His group is called Road to 100 Countries. And the class or course that he has is called The Tricks of Travel. Like, I'm part of The Tricks of Travel, so I promote that as well too. And I'll absolutely drop a link in here for you guys and individually send it to you guys as well too, so you can take advantage of it. Now, he charges for it. And I think the price just changed or is changing or something like that. But again, I can get you guys that info. So, Gay, I know it's a long answer, but to directly answer your question, Gay, it just depends. For example, if you live in Atlanta, obviously your air carrier of choice is Delta, because that's their hub, right? Mm-hmm. So if you want to be loyal to Delta, then it probably makes sense for you to get some type of Delta co-branded credit card. Delta Amex Platinum, the Delta Gold, or even the Platinum Amex, which is not a branded Delta, but it's still part of the Amex family. So that might be beneficial to you. Whereas, let's say if Dr. Ray lives in Chicago, his preferred carrier will probably be United, because that's their hub. So then it makes sense for him to get the United Mileage Plus card. And again, I'm telling you, if you want to be loyal to those carriers, right? Now, if you want to just accumulate points that you can use those points for rental cars, hotels, and stuff like that, then you have other cards such as like the Amex Platinum, which is the silver shiny platinum. And then you also have like the Chase Sapphire card. You also have like the Hilton Honors Amex Aspire or Surpass card. So again, those are just some of the cards, Gay, that will and everyone that will kind of help you guys out in terms of accumulating points and stuff like that. If you have no loyalty. If you have loyalty, then you just want to get a branded card, like Marriott. Like for me, I don't like Hilton. I've never met a Hilton that I like, and I'm a Marriott dude. So I have one of the Marriott co-branded cards, and that's how I'm able to rack up so many Marriott points, because I'm always at the Marriott. Now don't get me wrong, I have some Hilton cards as well too, and I use those and I accumulate points for that. And then I just use my Hilton stuff for like the family. So like, let's say if the family coming to town, or I need to get a room for a cousin or something like that, well, I use them Hilton points all day long. Hey, cuz, here you go, get your room at the Hilton for a night or two. And that's how I utilize that for the family. Mm-hmm. But then I keep the Marriott stuff for me, and I use Marriott because, again, I just like the Marriott brand a lot better. Stephanie, if you're talking, you're on mute. We can't hear you.
So let me throw a little extra in there as well. When you talk about brand loyalty for the airlines, like, for example, for Atlanta and Delta, obviously that's a perfect match. But there's ways you can travel Delta and not actually have Delta SkyMiles. So one of the things you want to learn are these alliances that they belong to. So Delta, for example, is in SkyTeam, right?
Yep.
So even if you had Flying Blue Miles, which is the KLM Air France link, you can use their points to travel Delta. Or you can hit Virgin Atlantic. You can use Virgin Atlantic to travel Delta. So once you learn these alliances, you might find Delta's charging an arm and a leg for the same flight that Flying Blue will get you there for a third of the cost. And the question is, how do you get the Flying Blue points? And that's where those cards come back in. The Amex Platinum pretty much can get you there. Well, actually, Flying Blue is connected to all 4 of the big banks. You get Amex, Chase, Capital One, and Citi. They all transfer to Flying Blue. So once you learn these alliances, there's ways you can link up. So even if one airline's kind of doing the most, you can go to their sister airline and still reserve at a regular rate. Some of them are zone based, some of them are distance based, and some of them are just discretionary, whatever they feel like charging. So keep that in mind as well. Right now, Amex Platinum is have 170,000 miles they're giving out for, I think it's 6,000 charged in 6 months, something like that. Anyway, just keep that in mind.
No, that was great info. And that's exactly why I love calls like this. Because again, guys, like I was talking to Gay and we were chatting earlier, I don't know everything. I mean, I've been to a lot of countries, but there are a lot of countries that I haven't been to. So I don't know everything. But what I do know, I'll try and impart onto you guys because I have seen a lot, have done a lot in terms of the amount of countries I've been to and the amount of travel that I do. But again, I like to preference it. I don't know everything. So, but we're all here learning together. It's just the stuff that I do know. I'll try and help you guys out as much as possible. And it's all free for me because it's the love of travel. Like, I'm not trying to make a buck off of like stuff like this. And that's why, like PJ, when you said you want to meet one-on-one, we can do that too. I know a lot of people, consulting fee, drop $50 and we can meet. I don't do all of that. If you want to meet with me and you want to talk to me one-on-one, hit me up, inbox me. I'll give you my phone number directly. We can call, because my thing is I'm trying to pass on this knowledge because I love to see us travel as much as possible. I am not a gatekeeper of information. I am just a vessel. I am just a person out here that is trying to get it in just like everyone else and travel as much as possible and help you guys travel and get out here as well too. So again, I'm always approachable. What's up, Sandy? I'm always approachable. So if you guys need anything, just DM me, or if you already got my number, call me. Dr. Red tell you, we ran across each other in Atlanta a couple of times, And I remember the first time we met, we just impromptu and went and had lunch. You know what I mean?
At the Peachtree Center, man.
Yeah, the Peachtree Center.
On my lunch break.
Yep. Just ran it up. Literally bumped into each other and then went and had lunch. That's what it is, and so I'm real personable. Like I said, you can talk to me anytime, even when I'm traveling. If you call me, if I'm not doing anything, I'll answer my phone. I'll give you whatever sauce I can give you. Unless I'm in the middle of something, unless I'm like shark diving or jumping off the bridge or something like that. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, I'll give you what you need. Yep.
So I have a question for Dr. Raymond, because I am my biggest issue. I love to travel. This year I turned 55, so I went somewhere every month. I got 3 more trips to fill out the year. So I've been using a combination of points, money, whatever. But my biggest issue with travel is I am loyal to Delta and I am loyal to Marriott. And so I lose out on like kind of some of the stuff. So Dr. Raymond, you mentioned something about the alliances and I didn't catch it all. Like, how can I capitalize off of you? Who was it that you said? You said something about something blue.
So Delta is a part of the Sky Team Alliance.
Okay.
Sky Team has about 14 or 15 different airlines. But in terms of points, there's 2 point currencies that most people use. You're going to have what's called Flying Blue miles.
Okay.
Flying Blue is the program for 2 different airlines, KLM and Air France.
Okay.
The other one is Virgin Atlantic. They just recently joined like last year, but you can use Virgin Atlantic miles as well. Okay. So, for example, if you ever look at if Craig had time, how to have him do it. If you want to get a flight, so let's say you want to take a flight to Hawaii or something like that, and you want to go in Delta One, and looked at how much Delta will charge for a Delta One flight, it might be 300,000 SkyMiles. I mean, you're talking about just easy, one way.
Yeah.
But if you look at that same flight, but you try to use Virgin Atlantic miles, it's 50,000 Virgin Atlantic miles.
Yep.
So the only problem is, can you find availability when you want to go? But they got that core number. So that's what us said in terms of the alliances. You might, in that case, Delta wilding out. But you get the same flight, you get the same airline, you get the same airplane, the same time for a third or fourth or fifth sometimes of the price.
Okay.
To capitalize on those alliances. United is with she swept there. What am I thinking about? United is Star Alliance.
Star Alliance is United.
They have 28
One
different
World.
airlines.
Right.
We talking about ANA. We talking about Lufthansa. We talking about Singapore. We
Yeah.
talking about TAP Portugal. We talk about there's 28 of them joints, you know.
Yep.
And then American, you got One World. We got the Finairs and the British Airways and the Japan Airlines. So no matter where you want to go in the country, in the world, you hit them alliances up, you can get there.
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
piece together some good stuff too.
And all the sauce that Raymond is dropping, that's like, as you see, we could talk about that forever, you know. And I'll be honest with you guys, I love talking travel. I love this. Like, this is what I do. Like I'll sit up and talk about, oh, you want to go from Detroit to XYZ? Well, what airline? Oh, well, if you're on Delta, they're probably gonna put you on an A330. And then what that means is it's a slim, wide body, so it ain't as big as a 777. So the configuration gonna be 242. So you might want to sit on this seat right here. You probably want to get seat 10G simply because, I mean, that's what I do. You know what I mean?
Right.
Because I love helping people out as much as possible. Like Gay and I were talking earlier, you know, content creation is whatever you want to make it. And however people content create, that's how you content create. I like to content create and be informative. Like, hey, if you want to get to this place, what you got to do is catch the JR train, catch it 5 stops. When you get off the JR train, get on this platform, go up the stairs, turn left, and then wait for the A train. Then get on the A train and ride that 3 stops. And when you come off, make sure you take the stairway down to the right. And when you take the stairway down to the right, walk out this little red door. You walk out the red door, bam, there's the Eiffel Tower right there in front of you. You know what I mean?
Mm-hmm.
I love to content create like that. And so what I've gotten into a habit to do, whenever I travel, I take pictures of where I'm going. You know, like if I'm walking and let's say I'm going to the train station, I get to an intersection that says train station that way, I'll take a picture of it. Then I go down and take another picture of it. So that way, when I'm explaining to somebody, oh, Nina, look, when you go over to Tokyo, listen, let me tell you, take a Uber out to Kyoto. And then when you get to Kyoto, you're going to be standing in front of such and such building. Here's what the building looks like. Send you the picture. So you know exactly where you are. Go into the bamboo forest. When you come out the bamboo forest, you're going to be on this side. When it's time to go to the train station, go to this corner right here. Here's a picture. And that way you just can't mess it up. You know what I mean?
Right. And
Right.
that's when I had a 12-hour layover in Paris, and I spent 2 hours trying to figure out how to get out the airport.
See what I'm
That
saying?
would have been helpful. You know,
Yep.
it's like then when it was time to get the Uber, I went to where the Uber was. He's like, no, don't come there. I want you. I'm like, Lord. It literally took me 2 hours to find where to drop my bag. After I dropped my bag for temporary storage to get back to Uber. Yeah, so that content is really, really great.
Yeah. Like I got a blog that I'm dropping, like Amsterdam, exactly like that. If you got like a day or 2 layover in Amsterdam, here's your best way to do. Go down to the arrivals hall, look up, you're gonna see a sign. Like I'm very descriptive like that. You're gonna see a sign, it's blue, go to the right, go down that hallway, the 3rd door, get on this tram, boom, bam, pow, bam, here you go.
Yeah,
So that way you know where you're going. So you don't spend 2 hours trying to get out of the damn airport.
That was me, and not to mention I tore my my meniscus, so that was even worse. But anyway, okay. And I could have used you when I just wrote this 6-page letter to Delta about my horrible trip that I just had to Kenya on Kenya Air and some other stuff. So,
Man, you have to tell me about that, man. Yeah.
It's a 6-page letter. I'll email it to you. I literally
Look, I have a relationship with Kenya Airways. Kenya Airways knows me well. We took a trip.
Okay.
We had a safari collection tour a couple of years ago. We're doing the return of the safari collection this June. So if you guys hadn't checked it out, you might want to get on it. We're doing a safari. It's going to be popping. We're going to Kenya, and then we're going to Zanzibar. We're going to this award-winning resort in Zanzibar called the Essex Zalu on Nungwi Beach. Man, bungalows right at the water, right? Anyway, that's one thing. But Kenya Airways, we went on this trip with a safari collection tour. We messed around because we were flying from Kenya to Tanzania. And we were late. Well, somehow we just left the hotel late. Got to the airport, right? Got to the airport, get to the counter, and the guy was like, yo, y'all missed the flight. Y'all late, XYZ. I picked up the phone. I called my Kenya Airways contact, and I said, hey, I'm standing here right here at the gate, and I'm talking to Solomon, reading his name tag. And, yeah, that's right, Craig, travel agent, blah, 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 blah. And the person was like, hand Solomon the phone. I was like, they want to talk to you, Solomon. Solomon gets on the phone, you know, they're talking in their language, and I'm just standing there looking. Solomon hangs up the phone and said, and he made a couple of calls on the little walkie-talkie, and then he opened up like 2 more customer service lines and everything to get all our people through. Come to find out, they called the plane and told the plane, wait.
Wow.
And they waited for our entire group, you know. And not only that, let me tell you how good Kenya Airways is. We paid for everything, did all of that, right? We overpaid them like $1,700. We come home from the trip 3 months after we come home. They're pinging me on WhatsApp. Hey, you know, Mr. Craig, you overpaid. We got $1,700. Let us know your account so where we can send it to and drop, you know, give you money back. Now, you know, nobody else would do it.
Right.
So Kenya Airways is near and dear to me. So if you had a bad time, we're gonna have to talk offline, Nina. You
we
gotta
gotta talk offline. When I say we'll talk offline. But the bigger issue was with Delta. It wasn't necessarily Kenya Air, but I did fall out with them at the counter. I was like, I ain't coming back to Kenya. So when we got done, after I talked to a manager, I blew kisses to the guy. I was like, all right, I love you, and I'll be back.
Yeah. So I got a bunch of people like on social media. Do me a favor, just send me a DM to my Facebook, you know, inbox. That way I can keep up with you, and then we can connect offline and all that.
Okay. All right.
Yep. All right. But, you know, I know we ran over, guys. I did 30 minutes. I know I'm cutting into you guys this evening because a lot of you guys on the East Coast right now. And I appreciate you guys allowing me to cut into you evening just to kind of give you a little piece of sauce, as well as learn a couple of things and meet some of you guys. But I'm going to go ahead and end it because I got to go cook. I'm hungry, you know. So I'm going to end the recording right now first. And then, hang on a second, let me end that. And then I will drop the link for the recording.